Welcome back, folks. Here we are at the farm. Just finished up some lunch, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited too, because we're going to be checking out the tree farm. So I have been doing some testing, and I have been able to figure out that, well, obviously I'm sure, as we've all figured out by now, that the platinum trees do work in the base games. I'm in Elmcreek right now. So what I did was I did a tester field, and the tester field worked out fantastic. So I've done the field there, and everything seems to be going good. So now I have a plan. The big plan is to actually make the bottom right hand corner of the farm, or of the map, is going to be my tree farm. So I'm going to try to have every product, like every sapling available from the platinum, and I'm going to try to separate them out. And it looks like initial testing, and so far the plans right now, it looks like it's going to work out pretty good, that we're going to segregate each field with a different type of sapling, and we're going to be able to get into the logging industry, so to speak. I do want to do the logging no matter what in this game, and I was looking at the base game, like the Elmcreek map area for logging, and it's not too bad. However, it's just pine. It's just regular old pines. So what I've done is I've taken this area right here, and here we are. So this is my tester field. And this field right here was all just open grassland. There was no plowed area. There was no actual arable crop on it. So I just grabbed it and I did my little test. I grabbed some spruce. We were able to fit 209 spruce saplings from the Platinum expansion into this field. I think there's 14 rows, I believe. I have to double check that. I don't remember. However, at the very end here, this is where we couldn't manipulate the ground. I can still bring my equipment out here. As you can see, I can still drive out here. So if I wanted to, I could definitely keep planting, just, randomly plant some trees out there. But when it comes to the actual painting and all that stuff, I was only able to get that far. So this was the tester field. We've got about 2 years about that on the spruce, and it looks like they are at 25 meters right now. I am going to leave them a little bit longer for the rest of the testing here. So they are at 25 meters. I know in Silver Run they do get up to 35 meters, so I would like to see if that's a possibility. So I just did a little logging depot here for my repair and storage, but we're just going to go over to so what I've done, here we go, you can see it a little bit better. So each field, I was actually able to plow out a line. I know you don't have to plow out for planting the trees. Here we go, let's go to third person. There we go. So you don't have to actually plow to obviously plant, but I wanted to do that for straightness. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I want to be able to just replant as I go. So what I've done is I planted over all the fields. I kept the original roadways, and I've been just kind of using those as my separations, and I've been trying to keep the original fields. And basically the plan is, just like the spruce back there, it's all going to be planned out that I'd like to have each different crop each different sapling in each one. So I've kind of set it up now. We can kind of do a little bit of a quick little how-to. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case, just to get the real details here, I'm just going to show you. So we'll skip into construction, and then we'll get a little bit of a better view here. So as you can see, I've just taken the fields. We have the original farm still there. I do have plans for it, but they keep changing by the minute. So we're holding off on that. That might be changed soon, but not yet. But what I've done is I've just kept all the original fields, and that's all I did. And then what I did was I actually just kept them just like the original. Here's 3 of the original. So from here, all I did was just paint them over green, and we just go to the old landscaping. I just grabbed the old painting green, and I just went around and just did that all the way around, and until I got the inside full. Once that was full, I went to my plants, got my grass, and then again trying to keep, because I wanted to keep those roads, right? So I tried to keep those roads. I just went around the whole field until I plowed, or until I filled in the whole field like you see here. Then, from there, I actually tried it out where I'm using this as my spacer. So I'm using just a mower as my spacer to allow him to be able to see how far over I can go. So if I rip over to him real quick, I'll actually bring him over. So what I've done was I tried to do like one mower width along the main road. Turn those strobes on. Got it now. So what I did was I actually just did one along the main road, and then like I would sit on here, and then you'll see how it just kind of lines right up there. And then so it would be the same thing. Actually, my truck is now in the way, so we will move that. There we go. And then my plow right here. So all I did was I just got the smallest plow I could get. Is just a regular 2-furrow plow. I'm only doing the first tester field there was for the spruce. I tried to do 2 plow widths, like 2 furrows, I should say. This one, I'm actually just trying the 1. So we're going to see how that goes. I don't think it'll be too bad. Again, the lines are there for me mainly just to know where to replant and where to space it. Because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it's kind of one of those, I do like those nice smooth lines. So what I did, again, right here, so like for this line right here, I would start actually 2 rows. So we'll start on the road, and then you can see it's about there. So then I get my little plow. Doesn't matter, I've just got a little modded Massey that I use with it. Doesn't matter which one. And then I just go right beside them, and then just start right there. Oh, we got to turn our fields on. There we go. And then I just start right there and see how that started a line, right? So I'll run that line and just be slow and steady, because you will pop off left and right. And if you do, that's okay. We can use the paint tool to touch it up. So there's 2 different ways you can kind of go with this. You can kind of leave it plowed. Oh, there we go. So see how that went over? So I'm just going to skip back over. There we go. That's no problem. Now, I am going to go a little bit close to the road. And then what we'll do is right at the end there, when we come back with the mower, I'll respace it. So then what we'll do is we'll come back here. And then you can see how the grass is a little bit off. That's just the way the paint goes. In order to change that, I would have to either replow or I would have to paint over, and it's too much. But right here, we can fix this. So in order to fix this, again, back into landscaping, we go to painting, we get our grass, and I just start a little bit out because I don't want to go too far in, and I hold my X and I just bring it in until it pops. There we go, and then up a little bit, and then we go down a little bit. Make sure you're angled not too bad. You can see how I'm off angle there. So if I just run it, I would come straight across. So just nice and slow and steady. So then after that, we go back to plants. We get our grass. And then again, we just kind of start out here and bring it in until we get level. There we go. And we just work our way up. Nice and slow and all touched up. And there we go. So now we have 1 row. Now that's the 1 row that's going to be for this road. And then what I also like to do, just to start the row in order to get the field done. Then what I'll do is I'll come back here and we're going to do another row perpendicular to that. So we're just going to go to this road right here. And we're going to go right to there. So see how we're a little bit out, right? So that's okay. So what we're going to do is now we're going to get our plow. And we're going to cut across the field in the short side. So now I know where my straight line is, so to speak. So we're going to go back over here. Ooh, almost touched it. I think I did touch it, actually. All right, so just kind of sneak in. We don't want to go too far, but again, if we do, that's okay. We can use the paint tool to touch that up. We're going to drop that down. So now that's lined up from the bottom. And then what I want to do is just, again, nice straight line. You just want to do 1 furrow. And then once that's in, now you've got your baseline. So again, we're going to go a little close. That's okay because we can just touch it back up again. So now from here, I'm just going to go and touch up that little corner. Hold on one second. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to go back up to here. I'm just going to drop it. There we go. Move it forward a little bit. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, so that is done. So now we have our baselines. Basically, we have our start line right here. So let's say here, let's just go into construction here. So now we have our start line right here. We have our baseline. So now when we run our rows, we know it's going to be nice and even. And actually what I would do is I would actually run this line, not across the road, but I would run this line all the way down these two fields, so that two other fields. So then I know I have a nice even baseline all the way across. Then also too, doing that, take this field for example, see how you have that uneven out here on this side. So what I do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to be starting in this corner. I'm going to do my lines out this way. I'm going to do a baseline this way. That's going to follow this line. And then that'll give me my starting point across. And then the great thing is as I come across, I can just move up and accommodate that road. I don't have to try to work the road and then have to work it down. I'm going to start my straight lines here. All right, moving on. So now, once we've got our perpendicular down, our perpendicular ready to go, or our baseline I should say, so now what I do, because initial testing, my precision score will go down doing this, but I have done this for the reason that if I want to, I can possibly cut some grass in between, if I so feel. I'm not planning on it right now in my farm layout and my end goal. I'm not planning on harvesting the grass in between, just because I already have fields designated for that. So this is all just going to be ambiance. So as you can see, what I do is I just pop that mower right up to the next line, and just like I want it to fit, as if it was going to be mowing a line, right? So I'll move it up, and actually, you know what would be better is I would actually, let's put it back here a bit, so then we can get close to get right on our baseline. And you can see right the edge of that mower. So if I just turn my wheels the right way, that would be the right left way. So right about there. And I mean, this is all eyeball. This is not something that has to be measured out. If you really wanted to go that far, and I'm in 19, I went a little too extreme. But this one, again, we're just going to pop her down right there. And we're just going to use, there we go. Oh, and you know what? Let's pick that one. Okay, so we're just going to pick that one. And we're going to come across. Again, same thing. We're just going to go across, nice straight line, one furrow. And then once that furrow is done, we head back to the other side. So, actually, you know what? Let's get this done. So there we go. So that's good enough. So that gives you the gist of what happens. So now what you do is you're just going to go back and forth all the way across the field, right? So you come across the field, you get to the very end, and I know at some points, as you can see with this field right here, where technically my line would have been like right here. Way too close to the road. So I've actually used this as a little bit of a open area, like a little bit of a cut through and maybe a little staging area. I can park stuff or park full loads or what have you, but that's getting ahead of myself here. So now that we've done that, we've got our baseline, we've got our starting line. Now we're going to work our lines across the field. So once we get across the field, and then let's say we get a little too close. So like I said, it might be where I might end up being, right around here. Well, then I'll leave this little bit of an open area. It's not the end of the world. It would be nice if I could measure it right out and do the outsides and work my way in. And that is totally another way you can do it. I have thought about that, but I'm already on a roll in this way. And in future, maybe I will. If I were to do it, I would probably, but I'm trying to think of harvesting, right? Once this is all grown, like those spruce, you still need room to move a bit. And now that I've done this, it doesn't look like I've left very much room. Okay, moving on. So from here, Now what we want to do is, we are going to go to the end. So we're going to go to the end. We're going to cap off our lines that we made. So we're just going to go to our end road. And this is, you can use this for any field, any map, really. You know, you just go to the edges of the fields. So now I go to here, I go right up to the edge. I get my construction, landscaping, painting, grass, or whichever you feel like using. And I just kind of cover up. There we go. So I cover that up. I get my plants. I get some grass. Boom. And there we go. So now we're all even. And I'll do that all the way across the room. And I just keep moving my mower. You know, do that, move up to the next line, and then keep painting. So once that's done, your plow lines are in. So you're ready to rock and roll. Everything's happy. Now I want my service roads. That's what I do, is I do my service roads. So what the end goal is going to be is this right here, where you see the roads going in between. Now I use the forestry paint. You can use, again, whatever map paint you want. That I know different maps have different ones available. So that's the great thing about this game, is there's just so many different options. So I'm using the forestry paint, and what I do is, again, I'm using my mower, but this time what I'll do, just for a little bit of an ease for me, is I'll actually run it. So if I run it, you'll leave tire tracks. So tire tracks will be left, and you can see them, not actually quite up close, but if you zoom the camera out, you can see the tire tracks. So I use that as a bit of a baseline, just to kind of understand or see where the middle of the road is, and you can already see the tracks in the distance there. So if I zoom out, you can see them. Once we go into construction, we can actually see them a little bit better. So again, construction, painting, and there we go, forest ground. And I'll keep the square, but I'll keep it the smallest size. And then if I zoom right out, so see how you can see those lines all the way down. So you can either run all your lines once as you go and then start painting, or you can do a row and then paint, and do a row and paint. Again, up to you. Also, this is a road. This is drivable. This isn't supposed to be perfectly even in my head. So when I'm doing it, I'm actually doing it somewhat quick. So I'll get my square. I kind of get an idea as to where it is. I'll just kind of put a line down. And I only start with one. So I put a line down and I see where it's lining up. And you know what? That's pretty good. So now I zoom out a little bit. I go a little quick, and I just kind of go back and forth. And, a little bit there, a little bit there. And I just kind of follow the line. And I do it a little bit quick, just because, like, this is a road. This isn't going to be perfectly even, just a dirt road. And what I do is I do not do the ends, right? So what we do is we don't do the ends. We leave them, and then we go to our next row, not next row, our next tire track. Now I'll get it really close, because if you can get it close enough that it leaves a little bit of an inward, there you go. See how this one will do a little slow, or we can do a little quick. We won't go anywhere near as quick, but again, we don't want to be even. So I just kind of like meander the controller left and right, and just kind of try to get it somewhat straight, but not perfectly straight. All right. And again, so we do that. And then we move to our next one. We line back up. We give her another rip. And then we use our tire tracks, and we just keep going up and down. And that's all you got to do, is just back and forth, till you finish off your row. So once we're finished off our row, prime example of what we were saying is you get to this point where, see how the lineup is just way too close. So what I'll do is I'll run a road, a service road, just like I did there, and then I would try to incorporate it. Now, once you've done your lines, we're going to go back to our construction. We're going to go to painting. Where is it? There it is. There we go. And we're going to go to forest ground again. So now what I want to do is I want to connect these ends. So at the end, you're going to have all these little rows that are going to be ready to go but not connected. And you know what? And I'm totally sorry. I totally forgot. What I did was I actually added a service road along the main road, so I can run my equipment without having to worry about traffic. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Just grab your paint, slide up and down, and it just back and forth. But where the fun part is where you start to integrate. So once you get your lines that are ready to go up to your road, then what we do is I just kind of, I go into the round, I'll do one size bigger. So here we go. So we're going to go, so into the round, we go one size bigger, we go round. And I just imagine, as you can see the tire tracks, I just imagine equipment and trucks and trailers and stuff that are going to drive in and out of this little spot on a constant basis over time. You know, that sort of thing. That's the mentality I look at it. It's the same decoration and what have you, where over time, trucks coming in and out, it's going to wear the roads down. And that's what I think would look like. So just kind of work it in, how tire tracks would go. And then with the service road, so now you can see I've just melded it into here. So now with the service road that melds into the little service area, it just gives it a little bit of a wider spot to work some equipment. I don't know if it's going to work out good, but we're going to see. So from there, what else we got? We got our service road up at the top, got our plowed lines, we got our service road. So we're good to go. Once that's all done, from there, you're going to have yourself ready to go. So you could do trees, you could really do anything. I'm thinking about doing my poplar field the same way. That's going to be another tester, so that probably will happen. But for now, this is what's going to happen. And from here, we're ready to plant. That's the great thing. So from here, we're ready to plant. We are ready to get all of our saplings and start showing basically how I line it all up. All right, so we're just going to head back to the depot here. We're going to grab our John Deere and we're going to grab our planter. And we got lots of saplings to get. That's the other thing too. We got lots of saplings to get. Okay, give me a moment and we will get to planting. Oh, right. And before we get there, actually, I totally forgot. When you are done the plowing, obviously, I totally forgot, paint these over. So, yeah, landscaping, painting. We're done the plows. We're just going to paint that. Oop, a little bit. There we go. Cut across there. And nice and slow to get the line. Boom, just like that. Painting, back to plants. We put our grass over top of it. One more. There we go. And again, nice and slow. Boom. There we go. And done. Voila. Just like that. So now our plow lines are done. And you're going to do that along your baseline. So once we're done the whole field, then I come over and I delete that spot too. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's get this field done and let's move on to planting. Okay, here we are. Fields are all done, ready to rock and roll. We've got all our pallets ready for planting. We've got, what do we got here? We got cypress, shagbark hickory, maple, oak, stone pine, and then we got some birch, some willow, pagoda dogwood, American elm, and down east serviceberry. Now there are two that I am missing, the spruce and the pine. The spruce, I actually already have a pallet left over from the field, our tester field, so that's going to be the spruce field. So we got 31 saplings left over, so once we've used that up, then we will get another pallet. And then the pine I ended up not using because the pine is actually what you get in-game, base game wise. So we're going to hold off. There may be a pine, regular pine field in the future, but for now we are just going to stick with the stone pine for what we're going to plant, and we're going to leave the regular pine for the base game fields. And if I need that, I'll harvest that stuff. So got that ready to go. Fields are all done, ready to rock and roll. And we just have to grab our planter and plant away. Now, word of just a tidbit of advice or just knowledge. In 19, the base game planter, like we're using the base game planter right here, the Damcon PL75. In 19, there was an adjustment for, let's see here, there was an adjustment for width when it comes to planting the saplings. However, in 20 here, there is not. So in 20, it has its own set distance that you can set it. I've tested this on the base game pallet saplings as well as... Oh, let's get back this up here because we got to get the skid steer to grab it. So I've tested it on the base game pallets as well as the platinum pallets. These are the platinum pallets. They're actually the cheaper route to go. The base game pallets have 20 per pallet and they're 1,000 each, which if you try to match each of these pallets would be the $12,000. However, some of these pallets are less than 12,000. So if you've got the platinum and you're going that way, then you're going all the way. It would be the cheaper route, I would say, to get the 240 in the long run. Now, I mean, we're still sitting at $90,000 worth of pallets, so that's definitely going to be a little tight on the wallet. And as you can see, we're down to our last few thousand here. So we're just going to pull this off. And then, okay, hold on. We got to adjust that. There we go. I'm still learning the attachments with first person. Oh, this is going to be... Oh, jeebus. Oh, I think we're on. There we go. Okay. So, we got that. That was a little flingy. Here we go. So, we're just going to pull up the side so he can load up there. And then we'll pop on. Oh, wrong one. We'll get on from the other side. There we go. So refill planter. There we go. So now we've got our saplings in there, and if you look at the top left, you can see how there is no longer a distance marker. So now you don't have to worry about it. But so from here, we're going to now pick our fields. That's the main thing. So we'll go back to construction here real quick. We'll zoom out. And here's our first field. So now this is where I just lay out what field I want in. Like basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pallet down in each field. So then that lets me know what's going to happen. I have 11 fields to work with. And this is finally what the overall outcome and look of it is. I have 11 fields to work with. And I have 11 breeds of saplings to work with. So this should work pretty well. I just got to figure out which place to put what in. I've already got some ideas. I think the stone pine is going to be in the bigger one and just work my way down. The production stuff is going to be the big fields, and then the wood chip stuff is going to be the small stuff. And then, like I said before, too, I just extended my road out here and just ran another little service road just to kind of help me work the fields while not impeding traffic. All right, and then, also too, kind of neat, run a little forestry sign pack is what it was called. So we got warning active logging site sitting there, and we've even got a little sign right here. Log trucks entering highway. Same thing on the other end there, down at the end, the other side of the road on the highway. But yeah, so pretty excited. So now we're gonna grab our planter, get it all set up. We're gonna put our pallets down into each field so I know which field is going to be what sapling, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we'll get that all set up and we will see you folks shortly. Okay, so here we are, time for planting. We've got all of our pallets all set up at the beginning of each row. Right here we're doing the stone pine, so let's just go into construction here. So we got a pallet set up at the beginning of each of our rows. We're doing stone pine for field 73. We're doing cypress for field 74. I kind of feel like it's the bigger field, so cypress is a production, it's for lumber. And then we're going to be doing birch, I do believe, here in field 75. I got it written down. So there we go. Yep, field 75, that's going to be birch. And we got our starter right there. And then in field 76, we've got maple. And then we're going to be doing, what do we got here? So we got field 80, that would be American elm. We got field 79, that would be willow. And then we're doing 78 here. Yep, that is going to be shagbark hickory. And up here is going to be field 77. We've got oak. And then down at the very bottom corner here, so we've got 82 is going to be pagoda dogwood. And then down here, that is going to be downy serviceberry. So most of this stuff is going to be the chipping. The production is going to be the cypress, the stone pine, and obviously our spruce. And again, like I said, the regular pine, that is already on the map. So I may put that in on another field. I'm not too sure. We shall see how it goes. Okay. So, when it comes to planting and keeping them in line, we're just going to fill it up. So we're going to pop that in. We're going to come up to our line here. And what I do to try to keep it even and get a nice line is I'll bring the camera, because the camera can only go so far up. So I'm going to bring the camera all the way up, turn my lights on, and it's getting a little dark here. We're gonna do this here hopefully before the night's out. So I'm just going to get that first yellow line on the bottom. So where it's going to plant is going to right here. This first yellow line right there. I want to put that in line with the dirt. And then actually I'm going to lower it, because lowering it's going to move it a little. There we go. So I just want to get that in line with the end of the dirt. And then once that's in line there, I'm going to actually use the AI, because the AI will actually plow, or will run the line, and it'll keep it a nice, perfect straight line for me. So, and then we're just going to watch it till the end. So fire it up. It's not dark enough for it, so it's going to go. And then now you can see how it's plopped that one sapling right there. So it's not quite at the edge, but it is close. So that's why I put it right at that line. And then we're just going to let her buck. It's going to go off. Now the grass is kind of overgrown a little bit. It looks like we are a little off to the right, a smidge. But that's pretty good. I like it. I definitely like it. And then it's just going to kind of put them in. Again, like I said, without doing the distance, 22, I think I said 20. 22 doesn't have the option to give the distance. So that's kind of nice to know that it just does it on its own, and you just get to sit back and let it cruise away and drop down some trees. And then basically at this point, when I say the first line, especially when it comes to uneven fields, you want to do the longest line first, because you want to, you basically, your first line, your longest line is your tester line. Is you got to know how many trees you can put in, and then it's nice because then you know how many trees are going to go in line. So as you go down to the shorter lines, you're going to know when to stop. The first row is going to be the question. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on where the saplings come out, and it's kind of, you just kind of eyeball it. That's the best way that I've done it. So we're still, it looks like we've even moved a little bit. We're still pretty good. Not bad, not bad. I could do better. We can do better on the next row. Definitely do better on the next row. So this is where we're going to get to the end. It just popped one down now. I think we can do one more, and it'll pop one down. Yep, and then I'm going to stop it. So again, this is all guesswork, right? So we guessed out, and we were able to luck out. This is the last one, and it would have been too far over before, because if you see where the other one is, it's quite a distance. So now, the great thing is on the next row, we know that, well, you can see it way better when you're inside the vehicle. Hold on a second here. So now we know, coming across, that one sapling is way too far out for the next row. So we'll know that we'll have to stop it on that sapling. So then what I do is I just swing back down to the end of the field, right down here, and then we start again the next row, and we just basically continue on. Just keep on going, and as you go to the shorter and shorter rows, you'll know when to stop your lines, and then as you'll have nice perfect rows like those spruces. Oh, they look good. I'm quite happy with how those turned out. So now we're finished off here. So now we just spin back around. Oh, I'm gonna smack that fence. No, okay. We're gonna line back up. So you're gonna line back up a little bit better. You know what? Also, too, you can see how the grass isn't really planted. So it'd probably be better to keep the grass not planted yet. But yes, okay, so we're just going to line back. Oh, that's the other thing too, I forgot. If you look at the bottom left of the map, you'll see those numbers. Those are your orientation, your heading degrees. So we can actually, like, we're at 359.9 degrees. That's as straight as I'm going to make it. I'm going to make, ooh, and I forgot to mention, when I pull the camera up, I'll try to get the tires right at the bottom of the screen, right about there. And then that's kind of a good spot right there. And then you can look at your degrees on your map, 359 degrees, and it's all three maps it works on. So there's one there, one there. This one, I find that hard to read, and I never run with this map anyways, but just a good little pointer. So when you're trying to orientate yourself. So we're on a good heading. We've got our single line that we're at, and we're ready to go. So we hit the AI again. We let them buck. And then there we go. See how it's all right. It's placed back a bit. And then same thing if we go to this one. It's placed... Ooh. Okay, maybe not quite. But close. But close. We'll see. And then we'll do the same thing. Basically, we'll do the same thing here. Do the same thing there. And we'll just keep on trucking. And then we're going to see... basically how many trees we can fit in here. So I've tried to design it in a way that... the production trees, the ones that are going for lumber, are going to be in the bigger fields. And then as I grow all of them, we'll see which ones I keep and which ones we switch out, if we do. Yeah, see, that one seems a little bit off, but not quite as much. Okay, so I'm going to plug away. We're going to plant these trees. We're going to get all these trees down, and we'll see just how many we fit in total. And we'll go there. We'll meet you there. All right, we are done. All the trees are in. Saplings are ready to go. We've got all our different trees planted and ready for growing. We got a total of 991 trees. It's so close. So I'm going to have to, looks like I might be grabbing a pallet of pine, and maybe I'll stick some pine off to the left there behind the depot to make it the 1,000. Before we get to that, however, I just wanted to let you all know about an issue with this planter, that it won't let you unload it manually. So you have to reset the planter in order to unload it. Now, you won't lose the pallet. That's the great thing. However, when you do reset it, the pallet will drop wherever the piece of equipment is, or wherever the excuse me, words are hard. Wherever the planter is left. So we're going to drop it right here, because this is where my skid steer is. I got my skid steer pretty much taking care of the property. It was sitting up at my farm there, and it wasn't really doing anything. So we moved it down here. So here we go. We're gonna grab the planter there. We're gonna reset it, and oh, will it not let me touch it again? Here we go. Let's try this, and we'll turn maybe. Ah, there we go. Okay, so reset that, send that back to the store. This is the only part that really breaks the realism, but unfortunately, however, at least you get to keep the pallet. I mean, they're expensive enough, so thankfully. And then all I've done was I just planted the shelves just inside the warehouse here to keep my overflow. I do have that storage the pallet and bale storage building if I need to, but my pallet management in the farm is really good, so I can account for this. So we're going to leave all of our extra saplings there for when we need to replant. We're going to grab the skid steer over there, grab the pallet, put it up, put it away, and we're going to let this grow. So here we go. We're going to see what happens, and about 2 years time should be total is what most of it says. So we're going to wait the 2 years and see where we're at. Okay, here we are. Just grabbing some more coffee so we can continue on. 2 years plus a day, or plus a month, I should say. Sorry, 2 years plus a month has passed. We are pretty much ready to go. I've done the comparisons in Silver Run Forest, and all of the trees except my spruce are the same numbers. I did notice the spruce are have jumped, sorry, I should say. Spruce have jumped to 35 meters in the 2 years that I was waiting for everything else to grow. So now the spruce are 35 meters and everything else are at the same numbers that I've been finding them in Silver Run Forest. So, which is kind of neat because I've actually, you can see the spruce pretty much from the whole map. And there's the spruce right in front of us, and there's the rest of us to the left there. So, we kept with the 991 trees. We didn't go with the extra 9. We're just going to leave it the way it is. And we've got everything fully grown, ready to rock and roll. So now I am ready to start cutting. However, I still have to install my sawmill, and I still have to buy all the logging equipment. So we're not quite there yet, ready to drop. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to make my own sawmill using the Platinum sawmill. And then I'm going to use the base game sawmill and leave it unpurchased and use it as almost like a competition in place to sell wood when the high times are there. And then I'm going to use my sawmill to make the base game productions as well as the Platinum productions. Then I'm going to also be using the wood chips that I get from these trees as well as from the sawmill. And we're going to be using that for the straw harvest DLC that I'm using as for the heat pallet plant. So here we are, ready to rock and or roll. Now we're just going to get ourselves into construction mode. Easier. So here we are. So they're all ready to go, all fully grown. I'm thoroughly happy with how it's turned out. Some of them obviously are going to be a real pain in the butt to harvest, so they're going to be turning into wood chips. And like I said, the chips are going to be going elsewhere. And I even kept all my roads there, so it's kind of a nice little way to get through. And hopefully I've left enough room that when it comes to actually doing the logging, that it's actually going to work out and there's going to be some room. So my plan is I'm going to be I'm going to be harvesting one or two lines per year, depending on how many lines I have per field. Then what I'll be doing is I'll be replanting each line. So it's like I'll harvest, let's say, these 2 lines, and then I'll replant them. Then the next year I'll harvest these 2 lines and replant them. Next year these 2, and then the next year this line. So then what'll happen is by time I get to the last line, this line should be ready to rock and roll. So it should basically be a never-ending logging process and a logging tree farm. Is the whole goal here. So here we go. So like I said, we got 991 in the new field that I made here, which would be the spruce, which I'm deeming field 83, is we've got our 209 pieces. Then we've got here in field 73, we were able to put our stone pine with 172 pieces. Field 74 right beside us here is our cypress. We were able to put 128 pieces in there. Field 75 is birch. Sorry, was cypress? Yeah, 74. And then field 75 is birch. We got 123 pieces there. Field 76 is maple, and we got 78 pieces in that one. Field 77 up top here is our oak, and we were able to fit 123 pieces in there. And then right here is field 78, which is our shagbark hickory. We were able to fit 51 pieces in there. And field 79, this little tiny one right here, that is our willow. We were able to put 28 pieces in there, as well as our American elm. Right here, we got 28 pieces as well in there. Downy serviceberry is our 80... Sorry, no, pagoda dogwood is our 82, and we were able to put 24 pieces in there. And then 81 right here is our downy serviceberry with 27 pieces in there. So again, like I said, only certain ones of these can be processed for production, and other ones are just going to be a pain in the butt to process for production. So the ones that are going to be a pain in the butt are going to be wood chips. The other ones like cypress, birch, stone pine, obviously spruce, those are going to be put in for productions and being sold off. Then when, like I said, certain ones that won't be, now that I've got these ones, what do we got here? 81, that is our downy serviceberry. I'm going to probably not replant those. And same with these ones here, our pagoda dogwood. Again, probably not. I don't know what they'll really achieve for wood chips and whether or not I can even get very much out of them. So, can be done, yes. Will I redo it? No. I'll probably end up putting either spruce or birch actually in there, or maybe even stone pine. One of these I might put. We're definitely going to be keeping the spruce where they are, because that is going to be our main production. And yeah, we now have a platinum tree farm in Elmcreek. So I was able to get, like I said, 991 trees. Again, as trees are going to be cut down, they're going to be replanted. Certain fields will be replanted with something different. But here we are. So again, if you've sorry, not again, but thank you very much if you've made it this far. This is greatly appreciated. I hope this helped and or gave you some ideas and for how to do your own. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for joining.